In this video we're going to have a look at the grass prefab and how we create that and how it's different from the other assets that we use. So if we go into scripts, biomes, data and refresh our memory, if you've looked at the scenery video, you will know that the grass comes in as a prefab here, but the other prefabs we use were just ones that we've got straight from the asset store. So they're just the model themselves, whereas this one is a prefab which has the grass controller on it as well. So I'm just going to do a little video to have a little look at that so you're aware of what the differences are between that and just adding a tree and a bush. So if we go into prefabs, we can have a look at grass and we can go into, say, the hot mid, and we'll see that we've got a grass patch mesh, which is just simply a mesh. If we look at it like this, so just a few triangles that we put the grass on. And a grass material, which is simply a material that's got the grass on it, and it's of the shader instanced texture which is included, and it must also be a GPU instancing enabled material. So if we look back at the prefab once again, there's a couple of settings here we can adjust. We've got the size scale values, so the mesh can have a random scale multiplier, and this just sets the minimum and maximum for that random scale. And the grass position offset gives a little bit of randomness to the positioning of the grass. To actually display the grass, the graphics draw mesh instanced function is used, which you can read about here in the Unity documentation. Now to use this you have to build up a matrix of the transforms, the materials, rotations and scales. So that's done in the grass controller file, and to get the positions it takes in the mesh data from the terrain chunk it's actually going to be displayed on, and uses each of the vertices from that terrain as a position. So it looks at normal for the position to make sure that it's on fairly level ground so you don't get grass growing out of the rocks. So if we go back to Unity, this grass position offset amount just adds a random offset to the positions to give a bit more irregularity to the grass. We can have a look at the grass now. There, now we're in the game and we can see that you get a lot of grass growing without impacting on the speed of the game at all. We've got it all the way around us here. There's still more work to be done on the grass controller. It's really just a starting point for you to improve on, as with the rest of the package. It just gives you a start. Some suggestions would be to improve the shader so that the grass moves with wind and with the character moving through it, for example. This is something that I think I will work on myself as well, and possibly put out a separate prefab as a separate project on the Unity asset store. This particular grass controller is tied in to the chunks that it's looking for, but it would be quite easy to make a universal one that you just literally added as a child object to a 3D object, and then it displayed grass on it as it would expect across the top. So something to look out for, and something that will be improved in the future. And as the improvements come in, then they will be added to this package anyway. That's it for this video. Check out the website for more videos on MC Terrain and for the full documentation for the package.